Shaking right now. It is time to go. Round one between Carolina and Duke, and the visiting Blue Devils win the tip. And it is Wilson, Jay, starting out on Boozer. Isaiah Evans, deep range. Caleb Foster swings it. Dame Sarr with a corner three.
Boy, Carolina came at Cameron Boozer with the double, and he passed out of it so quickly that reversal got the wide open shot for Sarr in the corner.
Freshman Derek Dixon making his 6th consecutive start after coming off the bench the first 17 games of the season. Seth Trimble up and in with the left.
Well, Seth Trimble is the engine for the transition of the Tar Heels, and an outstanding defender. He's going to be putting pressure on Caleb Foster at the point to start this game.
You see that wrap on his left arm, fractured his forearm earlier in the season, missed 9 games, but has been back for a while and playing extremely well.
And Jaron Stevenson starting this game. He's on Isaiah Evans to give that extra size.
And Evans draws an early foul on Stevenson. Jon Scheyer in his 4th year as the head coach at his alma mater, 110 wins, only 23 losses, a trip to the Final Four a year ago, and you can see 5-2. That's as a head coach against North Carolina, 3-5 as a player against the Heels. Evans always seems, Jay, to be an X factor. He's been a little inconsistent with his shooting this year, but on any given night, he can put up 25 points.
Well, his last 4 games, he's averaging 17 points a game in ACC play, and he's had 17 double-figure games on the season, but just 5 of 24 from 3 in his last 4. Still, he's incredibly dangerous in catch-and-shoot situations.
He is their 2nd leading scorer as he knocks down both free throws.
Dame Sarr with his length and athleticism guarding Derek Dixon out front. Dixon's 6'5". He's low error in his last 5 games as a starter. He's done a really good job at the point.
And I beg your pardon, on that earlier Sarr shot, it was a 2, not a 3, so it is 4-2 Duke. Henry Vesar misses a corner 3. If you haven't seen a lot of Carolina, that is not out of the ordinary for him to be taking threes. Whoa. Boozer airmails it. Vesar is shooting 46% from 3. He's a real weapon, Jay, inside and outside.
Well, he's made 28 threes on the season. And that 46% from 3 mark leads North Carolina. He doesn't make a ton of them, but you have to go out and respect that shot.
Here's Wilson, his first touch. Jumper over Boozer, too strong. Out of bounds, still Carolina ball. As we get our first look of the night at Hubert Davis, the 5th-year head coach at his alma mater. He is 4-6 as a head coach against Duke, 6-5 as a player. Both of these coaches, as players, longtime assistants, and now head coaches, they know about as much about this rivalry as anybody.
Well, Seth Trimble able to get downhill off that ball screen from Caleb Wilson, and when Wilson sets a screen, he is going to just roll down the lane, and he can play in a short roll because he's a good passer, good playmaker.
So Trimble to the line. He is the only member of the Tar Heels who has played in this rivalry. 3 other Carolina players have played against Duke, but it wasn't as a member of the Tar Heels. Meanwhile, Duke has 5 players who have played in this rivalry. Trimble just a winning player, helps his team in so many ways, splits a pair.
Oh, great defender. Well, he was so good in that win against Kansas early in the season before he broke that forearm.
And a hold inside is called on Carolina's Derek Dixon.
Well, Caleb Foster looked like he was going to set a screen, slipped out of it. And just a peel switch with Dixon just making too much contact.
Crowd just got to look at the replay and predictably didn't like the call here in Chapel Hill. Patrick Gungba, a big step forward for him this year from his freshman season. Evans can't get the shot off over the length of Stevenson. Now he can. Gungba with a rebound and a putback.
Boy, Pat Gungba is having a terrific season. Just wedged Henry Vesar under the basket a bit and held his position to get that offensive board. Well positioned. Carolina really needs to set good screens in this game to play out of it.
Stevenson kicks it to Wilson. Boozer on him again. Former AAU teammates from the summer of 24. Good look for Dixon. Around and out, and a battle for the rebound is won by Duke.
Boy, that was a nice shot fake by Vesar to get Patrick Gungba off of the floor.
Good defense by Trimble. Now Foster gets by him. Dumps it down for Gungba, and a nice feed for another deuce.
Just a beautiful cut as Vesar had to help. Gungba just cut right to the rim to get that pass.
Carolina 18-4 on the season, 6-3 in league play. Duke is 21-1 as Trimble floats it up and in. The only Blue Devils loss was a 1-point game in New York, Madison Square Garden, against Texas Tech in a game in which you and I were there, Jerry. They led by 18. They are that close to being undefeated. Gungba with a nice feed. Foster gets back his miss and puts it in.
Boy, what a play by Caleb Foster to get that through contact over Henry Vesar.
How many times have you and I heard Jon Scheyer say his bigs are his best passers? They run a lot of offense through Gungba and Boozer. Trimble, no.
This game is going to be decided in the paint. Can you get into the opponent's paint, and can you protect yours?
Good pace in the early going. Duke with the ball and a 5-point lead just over 4 minutes in. Evans trying to shake Stevenson, drives him and lays it in.
Patrick Gungba did a terrific job of shielding off Henry Vesar so he could not block or try to change that shot. Vesar did that to Duke just on the last possession on that screen and roll in the middle of the floor.
Wilson looking to get going. Trimble's got all 5 in the early going for Carolina. Stevenson, the Chapel Hill native, Alabama transfer. Dixon, a contested 18-footer, won't go.
Boy, Duke really did a nice job of guarding the ball there. Wouldn't let North Carolina turn the corner on 3 successive drives.
Carolina would love to get out in transition, but they have been unable to do so thus far.
Yeah, you got to get a stop to get out in transition. Good cut.
Another great feed. Gungba finds Sarr, and it's a timeout for Hubert Davis early here in Chapel Hill. This is one another for the last 98 years, back to the inception of the ACC, and then for decades before that, Jay, in the Southern Conference. I know you and I both agree. This is the best rivalry in college basketball.
I think it's the best rivalry in sports, frankly, with the success these two programs have had. It's been amazingly close. I mean, the last 120 times they've played, it's 60-60. I mean, it's like we're making that up.
With a handful of points, total points separating one another. Luka Bogovac in off the bench, misses a 3. Henry Vesar went up for the rebound, saying he got held, I believe.
And I think he's right.
Got pushed.
He got pushed by Cameron Boozer. Now they're going to take a look.
Duke is going to use a challenge. So the ball was awarded to Carolina, and Jon Scheyer will use a coach's challenge early in
Previous
this game.
Out of bounds is under review.
So obviously somebody in the second row of seats, somebody on the bench there on the Duke side of the court said, hey, they think this should be Duke ball, and Jon Scheyer feels it's worth a challenge.
And all they can do is look at which player it went out off of. And in the NBA, they have what's called the proximate foul rule. So they could take a look at that push foul, and it looked like it did touch Vesar last. So this is going to be overruled.
Yeah, this should be a fairly quick one over to Duke.
After review, the call on the floor will be reversed. Duke's challenge is successful. They will have one challenge remaining for the game. Get their timeout back. Lead
official Ron Groover with the information. So now they have one challenge remaining. If you use your first and it's successful, you get one more. They don't lose a timeout either. So this early in the game, teams want to be pretty sure about it, but that was kind of an easy call once we saw the video.
So far, Duke is having its way in the paint. They have kept the floor spread. And Duke has this lead right now, 14-5, and Cam Boozer has not yet scored in this game.
Caden Boozer in off the bench, as is Malik Brown with the ball right now. Duke, a 9-man rotation. Here's Evans off a screen, and he knocks it down, and the lead is 11.
Luka Bogavas was guarding Isaiah Evans, and Evans went right through his body to get that open shot. Well, Duke is doing a good job of keeping the floor spread, and then after getting the ball to Boozer, Brown sets a good screen, and then Isaiah Evans fights his way through it over Bogavas.
With Malik Brown into the game now for the Blue Devils, he has drawn the assignment of Caleb Wilson. Cameron Boozer was on him in the opening minutes of the game. Bogavas from Montenegro floats it up, but around and out. Carolina can't buy one, and why has Caleb Wilson hardly gotten any touches in this game?
Well, he's not moving right now. He's got to be more active moving. He's done everything after the catch instead of before.
Boozer, a bounce pass into Sarr. Brown inside, up and in with the left, and Duke getting shot after shot right around the rim.
And delivered a shot there. Malik Brown just went right into the chest of Henry Vesar and just knocked him back. Vesar down right now trying to catch his breath.
Now up and off to the bench as Stevenson has taken his place. And Vesar could not defend the play after that initial contact. It's a 10-0 run for Duke. And the Blue Devils have 12 of their 18 points, Jay, in the paint.
Carolina trying to set a little low cross screen for Caleb Wilson, and Malik Brown just gave him a shot before he could come off that screen. And Brown, whenever he's in the game, he's going to be guarding Caleb Wilson. He's going to try to be as physical as possible with him.
One of the nation's best defensive players, Brown. Second year with Duke after a couple of years at Syracuse. Tough shot in the corner, but he hits it. Caleb Wilson is on the board.
That's what Caleb Wilson is capable of doing, making the difficult play look easy. That was not an easy shot.
So Wilson scores, Cam Boozer still hasn't scored, and Duke's got an 11-point lead. A touch for him out near the three-point line, and he draws the foul on Wilson. I don't know that there's anybody craftier in the college game at drawing fouls than Cameron Boozer.
Wilson needed to take one more step toward the baseline because he had Stevenson there to come double and help him. And if he forced him the other way, he could have forced him right into Stevenson. Good little shot fake, got hit, and still was able to make that shot.
Into Boozer again. Stevenson on him now. Wilson has shifted over to Brown. And a travel called on Boozer.
Well, that's the exact same move we showed on College Game Day today. That middle drive and then a little up fake step through. They called it a walk right there. But usually what Cam Boozer likes to do is use that move and get body contact.
Cam Boozer third in the nation in scoring, 23.3 points per game. This is Kyan Evans, the transfer from Colorado State, who was the starter until a couple of weeks ago, now coming off the bench. Oh, look at that move by Wilson.
He can score off the unscripted plays. His footwork, his motor, impeccable.
Caleb Foster, a little stop and go, and he banks it in.
Caleb Foster is most difficult to contain when he's on that right-hand drive.
Evans at the point, Caden Boozer on him. The screen from Wilson. Stevenson, he'll take the three, but not here.
Well, he had a great game against Virginia at 17 in that one.
All in the last 13 minutes of the game. Again, Wilson slips inside, and he draws a foul on Brown to take us to a timeout here at the Smith Center.
Well, Caleb Foster rebound, but it's a team rebound, which meant it went out of bounds, and they get it back. So they've not corralled a rebound yet in this game.
Duke 9 of 11 from the floor, and again getting to the rim, getting to the paint time and time again. 14 points in the paint for the Blue Devils, as Wilson, who, and we could see it and hear it during the break, was extremely vocal in the Carolina huddle. He is at the free throw line. We talked to Coach Hubert Davis about Wilson yesterday, and he said there is no player in the country, in his opinion, who is the combination of great player, great person, great teammate, as much as Caleb Wilson. And then Hubert Davis, the nicest man in America, said, and I'll fight anybody if they disagree with that. Nicholas Hemenya trying to go coast to coast. Loose ball tipped up and in, and Cam Boozer's got his first points.
But Cam Boozer, who inbounded the ball, ran right down the middle of the floor. Nobody turned to box him out to get that tip in. What a tremendous catch by Patrick Gungba.
Wilson with Boozer on him. They know each other well. Again, AAU teammates in the summer of 24. Contested jumper goes for Caleb Wilson.
Caleb Wilson has that look in his eye where he's saying, get me the ball every time down.
Seth Trimble had the first 5 for the Heels. Wilson's got the last 8. And that has brought the crowd back into it with a vengeance.
Got a switch now. Boozer's got a matchup advantage.
Hemenya, that may have been a lob pass into Boozer, but he turned around and wasn't expecting it. Powell for 3. And here come the Heels back within 6. Evans fighting his way around a screen, and Cam Boozer called for the offensive foul.
Caleb Wilson, his footwork is excellent. Just that one step backs up Boozer and allows him to take that shot over. And his explosiveness is beyond impressive.
They're 4 for their last 4, and Wilson has 3 of those. Bogovac averaging better than 13 a game his last 3. Can't quite get into the paint. Now back out to Evans with 10 on the shot clock. Wilson for 3. And Carolina is right back in this game. Two-man game, Foster and Gungba. Foster probing. And a foul against the Blue Devils.
They got Boozer with a push in the back on Caleb Wilson.
And it's number 2 on Cameron Boozer with 9:33 remaining in the first half.
Boy, Boozer gets a screening foul up top, and then just with that left hand pushing Caleb Wilson in the back when he had inside position. He's the easiest to guard when he's sitting on the bench. That's a big play.
Foul trouble has not been a frequent thing for Cam Boozer this year. We'll see how Jon Scheyer plays it with a ton of time left in the first half.
Now Malik Brown back on Caleb Wilson. Brown's been physical with him, but he's got 2 fouls as well.
That's right. Missed shot, and Brown down with a rebound. Gungba the screen. Lost it, but it's out of bounds off Powell. Still Duke ball.
Trying to play with Patrick Gungba in that little short roll situation, but North Carolina had a lot of bodies between him and the basket and active defensively, and that's what the Tar Heels need to do. They need to be physical on defense and sustain it throughout the possession.
Hubert Davis says he'll take his chances offensively with this team against just about anybody, but if they're going to be really, really good, it's about defense and rebounding for Carolina. Corner three. Won't go for Powell. Duke ball.
Well, you like the aggressiveness of Powell, though. He had 12 points against Syracuse, knocked down 3 of 4 from 3. That gives them another weapon that can stretch the defense.
That was his second highest scoring game of the season. Sarr thought about it.
Great recovery by Seth Trimble on that drive attempt.
Gungba wide open, misses the three. He's 29% on the season from out there. Trimble soaring to the rim and draws a foul.
It looked like that was going to be a walk it up scenario, but Hubert Davis was like, go, man. And Seth Trimble really did. Like, he's the engine of Carolina's transition game. So strong and athletic. Boy, what a response by North Carolina. They were down and have made quite a comeback to get within one possession.
And now Boozer on the bench with 2 fouls. Duke led by as many as 13. And if you're having fun watching this one, don't go anywhere after this one is done. There's more great college action to come in your way. Tennessee and Kentucky. Remember, Kentucky coming from way down in Knoxville to beat the Vols a few weeks back. And then Houston and BYU. The Cougars, the BYU Cougars, that is, have lost 3 in a row, Jay. So this is going to be a big test for them in Provo against Kelvin Sampson's team.
And Kentucky going with those denim uniforms that they wore back in 1996 under Rick Pitino when they won the national championship. Mark Pope was on that team. Those things are so cool.
Duke's lead down to 2. Gungba one-on-one with Vesar. Wild shot, not close. And it is ruled Duke basketball with 7:47 to go, and it needs to trust Boozer to get him back in the game with 2, given the way that Carolina has turned this one around in recent minutes.
And North Carolina needs to go at him. You don't have to change entirely what you do, but when you've got an opportunity to put him in a ball screen and go at him, you have to do it.
Sarr and a foul on Kyan Evans.
Well, Dame Sarr just set a little up screen for Cameron Boozer. And Kyan Evans and Jaron Stevenson, they're so worried about Boozer. The screener is open, just shaping up back to the ball.
So Sarr at the line for a couple. Tomorrow afternoon, we have a great women's college basketball matchup for you on ABC. Number 19, Tennessee. Number 3, South Carolina. The coverage tips at 3 Eastern. How about the SEC on the women's side? How loaded that conference is with 4 of the top 7 ranked teams in the nation.
Well, Dawn Staley's done such an amazing job at South Carolina. Little diamond floppy, and you get Caleb Wilson with the ball on the right side this time against Patrick Gungba.
Gungba, a good defender. Wilson kind of fading, but draws a foul and has earned a trip to the line.
Well, with that pivoting that he does to create that space, Patrick Gungba did as good a job as you can do to keep him away from the rim. But he just used that right arm. You know, make him take the tough fadeaway, but the one thing you cannot do is foul here. And you see with the right hand hitting Caleb Wilson as he's trying to go up. Now, Dan, both these teams make more free throws on the season and in ACC play than their opponents attempt.
But the foul issues tonight belong to John Shire's team. Boozer's got 2. Brown has 2. That is 2 on Gungba. So really those 3 rotate at the 2 forward center spots, and all 3 of them have 2 fouls here in the first half.
A 1-2-2 3/4 court pressure.
Tipped. Carolina ball. Wilson and Boozer one-on-one. And an air ball. Wilson well short on that corner jumper. Gungba the handoff to Sarr. Another turnover. Trimble comes up with it.
Beautifully read by Trimble.
And beautifully read by Gungba at the other end.
Boy, Gungba, one of the best big man defenders in the country.
Duke defending at an extremely high level in recent games. Boozer with the left, and it'll go.
He can score with either hand around the basket. Seth Trimble came over from the weak side to take away that right hand. He just went to his left.
4 points now for Boozer. Duke by 3. Powell, no. Got it back, lost it. And here come the Blue Devils. Foster. Sarr is wide open and gets the bounce. A long corner two for Dame Sarr.
A terrific job by Sarr to run the floor and get in that deep corner to try to flatten out the Carolina transition defense.
Sarr looked like he was kind of laughing at himself, Jay, on his way back up the court. It's the second time he's tried to take a three, but has had a two on the line. Toe on the line. Wilson with an attempt for a powerful slam and is heading back to the line.
And another foul on Patrick Gungba. Beautiful high-low. And first it was Dame Sarr that had to pick up Caleb Wilson, and Gungba had to come over to try to stop that dunk. Nice little throwback to get the high-low, and Dame Sarr needed to just fight him down there, try to get around in front.
So Gungba has to sit with 3. Malik Brown, who's got 2, comes back in. And Jon Scheyer just hoping somehow they can get through the rest of the first half without Brown or Boozer picking up another foul.
You know, aside from Caleb Wilson making some of his individual plays below the foul line extended, Carolina's having success running offense out of the middle third of the floor.
Wilson potentially on his way to a huge night. He's got 15 points already. Evans wide open as the Blue Devils broke the pressure perfectly.
Well, they did a great job of not getting the ball around midcourt where they could get trapped.
Evans averaging 17 a game in ACC play. Step back jumper won't go for Jaden Young, who had been starting in recent games, the transfer from Virginia Tech. Foster pulling his way into the paint, but he missed it. Dixon backs it back out. Boy, good hustle play there by Malik Brown, who leads the team in deflections and again is one of the best defensive players at any position in America.
Well, Duke averages about 19 deflections a game, and even though Malik Brown only plays about 20 minutes per game, he gets 5.5 deflections per game. That was his 121st deflection on this season.
Duke led by as many as 13 early, then Caleb Wilson got going. He's got 15 of their last 19 points. Dixon a step back 3. Vesar the rebound.
And talk about rebounding out of your area.
And out of bounds off Young to turn it over to the Blue Devils.
Boy, that was great hands by Isaiah Evans. Used that left hand just to knock that ball off of Jaden Young and went out of bounds on the baseline.
So Carolina had been red hot, but they have now cooled off. Bogovac will return for the Heels. Stevenson as well. Caden Boozer back on the floor now for Duke.
Well, Jaron Stevenson is going to take Cameron Boozer right now with Vesar out of the game.
Line drive 3 won't go for Evans.
Boy, really good block out by Stevenson.
Brown on Wilson. Bogovac into the paint. Uses the shoulder to create the space and gets it back. Count it as he knocks down a 3.
What a great pass out by Stevenson. When Carolina gets a ball reversal and then attacks, their offense is much better.
The third three of the game for the Heels. Dukes made one. And now Trimble thought he had a clean turnover, but is called for the foul.
Right now, Duke is having its way with North Carolina in the paint and on the glass. Duke has more than doubled up Carolina in rebounds, and they are dominating inside the paint. 18-4 in paint points in this first half.
And they've got three freshmen on the court in this game right now. Cameron Boozer, Caden Boozer, Dame Sarr, another stellar recruiting class for John Shire. Paul Biancardi, who does such a great job as the director of recruiting for college basketball at ESPN, tells me another great class coming in next year, including Cameron Williams, a 6'11 forward from Phoenix. I mean, think back to your first time playing in this building as a freshman. No, you were a senior in this building, right?
Yeah, played the first game in here.
The first game in here as a senior. But what do you remember about your first game at Carmichael at the prior building for Carolina as a freshman?
That Michael Jordan was good.
He's not the best in the business for nothing, folks. Did your heart beat a little bit quicker in the layup line before that first game?
Absolutely. Yeah. And Carmichael was a magnificent place to play. One of the best arenas in the country.
In and out for Bogovac. And Malik Brown comes up with it.
Boy, Bogovac had that offensive rebound come right to him. He needed to go after that harder. He waited for it to get to him instead of going after it.
I think as a shooter, too, he was kind of looking at the ball for a little bit longer to see if it went in. And maybe because of that, got a late start for the rebound. Boozer blocked by Wilson. And it will be Duke ball, says Bill Covington Jr.
He's saying it went off the head of Luka Bogovac, and Bogovac is saying, hey, let's take a look at this one. Terrific block from the backside by Caleb Wilson. That started the break, and there hasn't been much transition in this one. Nice little step-through move, but sent back by the freshman from Atlanta, Georgia.
Wilson leads the Heels in scoring, rebounding, steals, and blocks. Boozer leads the Blue Devils in scoring, rebounding, steals, and assists. Both of them remarkable talents. That time Sarr made sure he was behind the line, so give him three.
Well, it's so hard for Derek Dixon to try to have to stop that drive and recover to a corner shooter.
And Duke has kind of stemmed the tide here in recent minutes and extended the lead back to 8. Bogovac still going. Vesar can't tip it in, and Henry Vesar, who averages 16 and 9, has no points and 2 rebounds in this game. That'll have to change for Carolina to win it.
Duke keeps the spacing and the floor so spread. You get these cuts. Trimble with another foul on a cutter, having to peel switch off. All right, take a look at Sarr, Dame Sarr right here. And on this drive by Isaiah Evans down the lane line, Derek Dixon has to help off and then recover to a corner shooter. That's just too much space. You'd rather have Isaiah Evans take a tough 2 over Seth Trimble than give a wide open 3 to Dame Sarr in the corner.
How about as Trimble sits with his second, how about the half that Sarr is having? 4 for 4 from the field, 10 points, 5 rebounds, and a very good defensive player as well. Boozer threw a lot of traffic, threw up a prayer, wanted a call, didn't get it.
Well, they've thrown a lot of bodies at Cameron Boozer.
But he'll wind up with a 3, and all of a sudden, Duke is back out to a double-digit lead.
What Duke has done best is keep North Carolina out of transition. It's been mostly a half-court game, and that's advantage Duke.
Stevenson to Wilson. The pull-up from 17. Has he got game or what?
He's got everything.
He's keeping Carolina in this one. He's got 17 of their 29. Boozer spins on Vesar, but it won't go. Vesar, though, had it roll off his fingertips, so it is still Duke ball. Coming up on the Jeep halftime report, highlights from this one. You can see Reese and the guys getting ready, getting their game faces on. And also, well, Reese needs a little more help getting that game face on. And number one, Arizona. They opened up a can on Oklahoma State today. We're going to be in Tucson next week. Texas Tech will be there. Game day will be there. How much fun is that going to be? This has been a great day. Lots to talk about for Reese and the guys on the Jeep halftime report. You know, let's go back to the early foul trouble. Boozer sat with 2, Brown sat with 2, Gungba picked up his 3rd, and John Shire trusted his senior in Brown and his freshman in Boozer to play without picking up a 3rd foul here in this half, and they have rewarded that trust. Caden Boozer knocks down a 3.
Boy, what a great screen by Malik Brown. He screened Jaron Stevenson so he couldn't.
There took Cam Boozer out for the final 30 seconds of the half to make sure he didn't pick up a 3rd.
Dame Sarr's pressure on the point guard position has really helped change this game defensively for Duke.
Final possession of the half to the heels. Dixon. Deflected. Duke has it. And Carolina will not get a shot off at the end of the half as Duke finishes the half on an 18-7 run to take a 12-point lead. Likes his team's offense, but talked about defense, rebounding, toughness, 50-50 balls. He is certainly getting everything, Jay, he could ask for out of Caleb Wilson.
And Caleb Wilson is not making easy shots. He's making tough ones. He got one-on-one coverage, and Cameron Boozer made him take a tough shot over him, but he made it yet again.
When Hubert Davis talks about talking to his team yesterday as Wilson comes up with a steal, they had former players like Raymond Felton, Theo Pinson, Justin Jackson talk to the players about what it means to play at this institution. Hubert said more than what it means to play specifically in this rivalry.
Well, Patrick Gungba, who doesn't get near the credit he deserves for being an outstanding defender, made a great play on the other end after Caleb Wilson got that steal and Carolina got out in transition.
If you're Carolina, don't you have to get Henry Vesar going somehow?
Yes.
A very quiet first half for a very good player having a big season for the Heels. Wilson drives and hits again.
What a jab step. He took a jab step right to his right and then went left, got all the way to the bucket. What a big-time offensive play by Caleb Wilson.
Tipped away by Trimble, but it's going to be a foul call, and that'll be number 3. And Trimble is pleading with Hubert Davis, don't take me out of this game.
Well, it was all because of his right arm. He had it on the waist of Caleb Wilson. There, see that right arm? Just right around his waist, and Ron Gruber right on the baseline and could see every inch of that.
If Hubert Davis will trust anybody to play with fouls, it'll be Trimble. But now Caleb Foster got open in the corner and knocks down a 3, and the lead is back to 11.
Foster did a great job of using Cameron Boozer as a screener to be able to shoot behind him.
Trimble underneath the kick. Stevenson in the corner. And Boozer the rebound. Nice outlet to Sarr.
Boy, Sarr had a fabulous first half. 10 points, 5 rebounds, and his defense was outstanding.
Did not miss a shot from the field. 4 for 4. Cameron Boozer a good look, but he misses the 3. Ball screen Vesar. Trimble. Turnaround. Yes.
Boy, Seth Trimble so good snaking that ball screen and then just pivoting into that turnaround jumper over his right shoulder.
Wilson's got 21. Trimble's got 8. The rest of the Carolina team only 6 points in this game.
And they've had some open shots, just missed them.
Boozer, no. Vesar the rebound.
And that's where Vesar can be so helpful defensively. He's tough to shoot over.
Stevenson could not get it over the rim. And here comes Boozer. Numbers for the Blue Devils. Right into the chest of Vesar for the finish.
When he gets going downhill, it's like trying to stop a truck. He goes right into your chest, knocks you back, and creates that space so he can get the shot up with the left hand.
Now 11 points, 6 rebounds for Cameron Boozer.
Good pass.
Stevenson open again, and this time he buries it.
And when Carolina plays inside out, they can get some good things. And that was a beautiful pass by Vesar out to Stevenson in the corner where he made a living at Alabama.
Gungba playing with 3 fouls, had to sit a lot late in the first half. Looking for help. Evans corrals it. Boozer way too long on the 3. Crossover Trimble. Cutting is Stevenson. And missed a 6-footer from the paint.
Boy, that's deflating. Carolina had a Duke on the run in transition defense, came away with nothing.
Carolina does not have a fast break basket in this game, and the big night continues for Dame Sarr.
Duke able to get the ball from a skip pass from one side to the other and beat the shift of the Carolina defense.
Sarr has had his ups and downs this year, has struggled sometimes offensively, but this is the best of Sarr here in this game. Trimble, follow, and a foul on the Blue Devils. And is that Boozer?
It's Gungba, it looked like.
It's Gungba, you're right. It is Gungba who just picked up foul number
14 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. For a lot of freshmen, that's their best game of the year. That's his worst.
Seth Trimble at the line. So remember, the last foul before that timeout went on Patrick Gungba, and it's number 4 on him here early in the second half. Trimble now into double figures with 10. So it's Boozer and Malik Brown in the front court now for the Blue Devils.
Vesar guarding Boozer.
Evans gets free, a little strong on the mid-range jumper.
Boy, what a terrific job by Vesar, switching off on Isaiah Evans, then getting back to the rim to grab that rebound.
Vesar still has not scored in this game.
Well, he's got Caleb Foster on him now. He needs to get the ball.
He is calling for it. He gets it, draws a crowd, and hits.
Boy, what a great catch. And went right over Boozer off the glass.
The transfer from Arizona leads the ACC with 12 double-doubles on the season.
Carolina needs to stay between their man and the basket here so they don't give up a slip on these screens.
Stevenson switches on to Boozer. Turnaround, no. Carolina ball.
Boy, good defense by Stevenson. What a pass.
And it'll go for Stevenson. Dixon the assist, and it's down to 5. Evans shot fake, drive, layup. More of a catch and shoot guy last year, and he can still drain a 3. But Jay, much more likely to take it to the basket this year than he was a season ago.
Well, he got Vesar to switch off because he slipped that ball screen, and Carolina going inside to try to challenge Cameron Boozer, and that's 2 in a row for Vesar. Well, this is where North Carolina, playing at home, needs a stop. And with Vesar guarding him, Boozer's going to be out top in the middle third.
Boozer driving and scores.
And he went away from the ball screen that was about to be set by Evans and went with that left hand. He's going to try to drive Vesar every opportunity.
Knocked away by Sarr. Numbers for Duke. No look to Boozer for the slam.
Boy, Dame Sarr, his defense on the ball has been excellent.
Wilson, it'll go. Up and down they go here at the Smith Center.
And give credit to Derek Dixon. Even after the made field goal, he gets it out and passes ahead.
Wilson averages 20. He's got 23 already tonight. The lob and the finish. Brown to Boozer.
Little back screen by Dame Sarr at the elbow. Wasn't communicated very well by North Carolina. They just throw over the top. Not enough pressure on the ball to discourage that pass.
And all of a sudden, Cameron Boozer's up to 17 points. Another touch for Vesar. And he'll score again. He's got 6.
Turnabout's fair play. Just drop that left shoulder into Boozer's chest to create the space. And Vesar has become much more aggressive in this second half.
Boozer calling for it. Foster looking in there again. One-on-one, Boozer and Wilson. No double. Blocked by Vesar. Boozer again, and he'll finish.
He gets a lot of his own misses. That one was blocked, but still he's able to pivot around and get that to go.
Dixon, a lot of contact, but no call, and the bucket will go.
This game is getting physical, and Carolina is starting to match the physicality that they got in the first half from Duke.
Brown up top. There got to be some tired players. A long stretch without a whistle. Boozer, the shot fake and the kick. Foster's 3 won't go. Wilson fouled by Malik Brown, who picks up his 3rd.
A good play, too. 23 points in this game. He's 8 of 10 from the field, and he hasn't had an easy shot yet.
Duke has led by as many as 13. Carolina has never led. It's a 7-point game right now.
Called for a clear out.
With Boozer guarding him. Vesar is heated up in the second half. Somehow found Trimble underneath, but he couldn't finish it. Carolina bench was hollering for a foul call, but they didn't get it.
Well, Carolina's shooting 70% in this second half. They've been much more aggressive at both ends of the floor.
Knocked away. Carolina's got it. Trimble. And a foul.
With great deceleration by Seth Trimble to draw that foul on Isaiah Evans, and that pass into Boozer that was stolen by Caleb Wilson, just a poor angle to feed the post.
Chris.
Jon Scheyer in that last timeout sat down and he looked directly at Cam Boozer, challenged him. He said, I need you to step up defensively. What you've given us on offense is great, but the person that you have been all season for us is defense. I need you to step it up on that end. Then he looked at the rest of the team and said, they've had more points in the paint than they had the entire first half, 14 of them. I need you guys to guard.
And there are the numbers to support it. Chris, thank you very much. Definitely Carolina looks like they're playing harder, doing better on the glass, getting into the paint, doing some really important things much better in the second half than they did in the first half.
Well, they've had a hit-first mentality in this second half that Duke put on them in the first. Better pressure on the ball in the second half for Carolina, made passes more difficult. Here comes the double.
Boozer, a terrific passer, but he turns it over. Trimble anticipated that beautifully.
He's like a free safety in reading the passer's eyes and then making that steal, and it's not the first one he's had in this game.
Evans. Off the rim and down to Boozer, and Duke running, led by Evans.
What an outlet.
What a block, and that's Trimble.
Boy, Seth Trimble just has an extra step on his ladder that most players just don't have. So explosive, especially off 2 feet. Beautifully timed.
He's now got 3 steals and that block. And remember, he was playing for several minutes with 3 fouls. He sits. Boozer, no. And it will remain Duke basketball.
Boy, what a block by Caleb Wilson. Took a shot in the chest, and he's able to get off the floor so quickly and block that with the left hand.
Evans wide open, and Carolina catches a break there.
Just inbounded, it came off a double stagger. He's not going to be more open than he was there.
Dixon needs some help. Still plenty of time. Bogovac. Wilson backs up, sizes up Boozer again. Into the paint. Blocked from behind by Evans.
Nice job by Boozer to stay in front of Caleb Wilson to make him take a really tough shot so that a teammate could converge.
Caden Boozer. Too strong. Vesar another rebound. Bogovac. Open. Cannot find the range here tonight.
Boy, those are the shots that just have to go down. Bogovac had a shooter in the corner, looked him off, and had a wide open look, just didn't go.
Came in here hot the last several games, just 1 for 7 from the floor tonight. Boozer for 3, and he hits it.
Boy, just a pick and pop. And Bogovac had to switch just late getting there.
With everything else that he does well, he's a 6'9" forward who steps out and shoots threes at a 38% clip. Vesar the runner. Duke ball.
Boy, Duke is gang rebounding on the defensive end. Nobody's leaving until they secure the ball. All 5 guys on the defensive glass.
Under 8 to go. Duke with the ball and a 9-point lead.
And they're going to continue with Boozer setting that screen up top. Got the switch again. Now he's got Bogovac on him.
Caden to Cameron, brother to brother. Cameron to Boozer driving. No call. Ball still live. Evans. And down with it, Dixon for the Tar Heels. They have rarely been able to run tonight, and Dixon throws up a wild shot in transition that didn't come close.
Well, Carolina trying to be aggressive, but there was nothing there. Well, Duke really spreading the floor. Wide open middle, playing 5 out.
Caden Boozer. Bogovac the rebound. And out of bounds with 7:02 to go. It'll be Tar. Even when it feels like he's not having a huge game, you look down, and with 7 minutes to go, he's got 22 and 9. I mean, every single night he delivers for this Blue Devils team.
And he never seems to change expression. He just keeps playing through physicality. He delivers most of those blows himself.
And I think what we've seen tonight, Boozer has played like Boozer, and Wilson has played like Wilson in this first matchup between these two teams this year. As Vesar, who's been huge in the second half for Carolina, he's now got 8 all in the second half to get him back within 7.
Well, he's just going right after Gungba with those 4 fouls. But North Carolina needs a little more out of its guards. Outside to Seth Trimble, Carolina's guards haven't really gotten anything going on the offensive end.
Evans draws a crowd. Got Wilson in the air, but couldn't hit it. And the foul call is going against Duke, and Gungba is done.
Gungba trying to grab that offensive rebound, just went right over the top and picked up that 5th foul. And that's a big play to take his defensive ability away, just right over the left shoulder of Henry Vesar.
Played only 16 minutes tonight. He finishes with 4 points and 7 rebounds. Evans will come out as well. Foster returns.
Boozer will take Caleb Wilson.
Jon Scheyer basically has used 7 players tonight. Jimenez only played a little bit, and Darren Harris hasn't played at all, and now Gungba's out of the game. Wilson one-on-one with Brown.
Now remember, he's got great hands.
Sarr knocks it away. Shot clock at 7. Dixon Got it! And it's a 4-point game. Wilson on Boozer.
Got the switch.
Gave it to Foster. Shot clock running down. Brown hoists a three, and Vesar's got it for the Tar Heels. Knocked away by guess who? Malik Brown. It's a scrum, and it's Duke ball. And Caden Boozer will lay it in, but give Malik Brown all the credit in the world for generating that play.
You show him the ball, his hands are so good, he's going to knock it away. We talked about it just a minute ago when he was guarding Caleb Wilson.
Know that a lot of former Tar Heel stars are here at the Smith Center tonight, trying to see if the home team can mount one last challenge, get over the hump, and try to take the lead for the first time tonight. Vesar, and a foul on Malik Brown. That will be number 4 on him.
Well, Caleb Wilson came up to set a little 4-5 ball screen in the middle of the floor, and Vesar just rejected it, going to his left and tried to spin. Malik Brown almost knocked it away, but got called for the foul. So going into a lot of bodies there.
Boozer now on Wilson. Cameron Boozer picked up 2 fouls in the first 11 minutes of the game. Hasn't picked up any fouls since. Vesar. And not a lot Brown could do playing with 4.
Well, Vesar just put his head down, got to the middle of the lane, and a great left-handed jump hook.
Double on Boozer. Cross court 3 for Sarr, too strong. Wilson's got it for the Tar Heels. Takes the contact, can't finish. And we have a held ball. Boozer tried to rip it away, but 2 officials blowing their whistle at the same time. The possession arrow does give it to Duke. And maybe, Jay, kind of another rushed transition opportunity where the look was not the best.
It was not the best, but Carolina really trying to push the ball. They just got to stop. Now they need another one.
Inside 4 minutes to go.
Now there's a switch. Trimble on Cameron Boozer, trying to front him with Vesar behind.
Brown for 3. Offensive rebound. Boozer sticks it back in.
Well, that's asking a lot. Seth Trimble is a great player and really strong, but he's given up a lot of size to Cameron Boozer. And Duke, more second chance opportunities. Usually that's Carolina's thing, but they've been dominated on the glass.
Boozer now with 24, above his average. Pass deflected by Foster. 10 to shoot. Trimble knocks in a 10-footer, and again it's a 4-point game. And we've got a timeout on the floor with 3:16 to go. Duke by 4 here in Chapel Hill. Carolina got it down to 1 briefly in the first half. This is the closest they've been in a long time here in the second half. And let's make note of this now, Jay. Tell me how this may impact things. With 3:16 to go, amazingly, Carolina's only committed 1 foul here in the second half.
Well, it means they can be really aggressive defensively. I don't think you want to keep this 1 foul if you've got the opportunity. You don't want to give Duke anything easy, so they can be really aggressive. They just don't want to foul on a shot.
Evans could not get enough time to get a look at a 3. Inside 3 minutes to go. Sarr the extra pass. Foster the shot fake, drive, and the finish.
Boy, what a beautiful shot fake on the reversal in the corner. And that opened up that baseline drive, and Caleb Foster just went to the other side of the rim to avoid that shot getting blocked.
They'll run some offense through Vesar. Boozer so strong, stands him up, forces him to give it up. Dixon with a three.
Well, Duke had to switch it. Cameron Boozer just slow getting the Dixon. Now that's 2 threes he's hit late in this game, and Carolina showing some life. 1 possession down with 2 minutes to go.
Evans the drive on Stevenson, no, and Vesar another rebound. Hubert Davis leaping in the air as he calls out a play on the sideline. Vesar ties it. .68, a minute 20 to go. Boozer the drive, the spin, no!
Carolina has made a stand in the defensive end in this second half. They have been a different basketball team.
And they've hit 2 huge threes their last 2 times down the court. And Hubert Davis will call a timeout with 11 on the shot clock and 50.8 on the game clock.
So any common foul by Duke, North Carolina is shooting free throws. So you can be aggressive, taking it to the basket and seeking out contact.
Into the hands of Trimble with now 7 on the shot clock. Driving Boozer. And it is off his leg and out of bounds to Duke.
Boy, Cameron Boozer just reached in after that crossover, reached in with the left hand and knocked it right off Seth Trimble, and it goes out of bounds off his leg. What a big play by Cameron Boozer.
And now John Shire wants a timeout with 39.5. And Cameron Boozer putting up his typical numbers. He's now up to 24 and 11 in the game for Duke.
And this is the kind of situation, Dan, where a shot fake can be devastating. You have to stay down and be disciplined defensively.
Caleb Foster starts it off.
Got the switch now. Vesar guarding Boozer.
And there's a lot of wide open court right now. Boozer watching the shot clock. It's down to 6. Here he goes. Can't hit it. Kept into the hands of Trimble. Shot clock turned off. Timeout, Carolina. Boozer is on Wilson. Brown is on Vesar. Into Dixon. Boozer switches on to him. Dixon the kick. Trimble! Got it! And Carolina wins it! They have stormed the court here at the Smith Center. Is there a chance the officials may be looking at the monitor to see if there's any time that should be put back on the clock?
That's exactly what the officials are doing. And it's when the ball clears the net. What a tremendous pass by Derek Dixon to get it to Seth Trimble in that right corner. And there's still .4 to go. So they're going to have to clear this court. What an amazing play by Dixon to find Seth Trimble in the opposite corner and give Trimble credit.
Vesar is on the ball, trying to make life difficult on Caleb Foster.
You get a finger on the ball and the game is over.
Foster can run the baseline. The heave. And it's juggled by Evans, and now it's over.